One of the biggest assumptions people make when moving to Northwest Arkansas, if they're working with Walmart, associated with Walmart in some way, or simply wanting to take advantage of everything that Walmart has created here in Northwest Arkansas, that they should live close to the Walmart home office campus. But after helping hundreds of people relocate here, I've actually found that's not true for everyone. Today we're going to talk about who should live near Walmart HQ, who probably shouldn't, the pros, the cons, and what cities might actually be a better fit for you and your family based on your lifestyle. My friend, if we haven't had the pleasure of meeting, my name's Anthony Mosley. I'm a real estate broker here in Benton County, here in Bentonville, right down the street from Walmart's home office campus, and I help people just like you, after presenting them the facts, decide, is Northwest Arkansas, is Bentonville going to be the next best place for you and your family to call home? Or not.
Do it.
In this first section, let's cover why people think they need to live near Walmart's HQ. Now, near is a relative term. Near could be within 50 miles. Near could be within 5 minutes. That's subjective to the individual. In this first section, let's break down each of those individuals and why they think they need to live near Walmart's HQ. First of all, Walmart corporate employees. Yeah, of course, if you want to live close to the campus, you want to roll, stroll, hike, or bike to work every day, then yes, living close or near, let's say maybe within a mile or two of the campus would be great. Lower commute times. You could ride your bike there and ride home. You could ride your bike during lunchtime on maybe one of the nearby connector trails to go out to Slaughter Pen or Kohler Mountain Bike Preserve on lunch, and then take a shower back on campus before you have to go to your afternoon appointments. Many Walmart vendors think they have to live near Walmart home office campus, and that's simply not the case. There's many Walmart vendors who are friends of mine that don't live within a mile, 3 miles, or even 5 miles of the Walmart home office campus. If you're an entrepreneur and wanting to be near the action, yeah, maybe you could live near the Walmart home office campus. Maybe people thinking that if they get their product on Walmart shelves, they should have closer proximity to being near the home office itself. Maybe you're a remote worker, not working anything associated with Walmart at all, and you're saying, hey, it would be nice to live, or I should live close to the campus because there's so much going on there. There's coffee shops, there's restaurants, bike trails, retail shops, a place to get your hair cut. The home office campus isn't just corporate buildings. We found that out a few weeks ago. What you're seeing here is a little bit of the Walmart home office campus tour we did a few weeks ago. Then there are retirees who are thinking, why should or shouldn't we live near Walmart and in close proximity? Maybe because their kids or their grandkids are employees or vendors to Walmart. And then, of course, there are simply just families and people that want to be close to where the action is. Many people assume that proximity means better. Sometimes yes, sometimes not so much.
I think I'll pass.
Now that we've laid that groundwork, let's talk about some of the positives or pros of living near Walmart and their new home office campus. Of course, if you're an employee, you've got a shorter commute time if you're in office most days. Maybe you're in a leadership role and you've got lots of meetings. Living close to the campus would be absolutely fantastic. Something I should pause and talk about right here is that Walmart's home office campus is right off of the Razorback Greenway. They've really integrated their new home office campus in the action, where everything is centrally located, not too far from the highway, not too far from downtown Bentonville, right off of the Razorback Greenway, which stretches from Bella Vista all the way down to Fayetteville. You've got access to everything, kind of we mentioned earlier, restaurants, coffee shops, the Greenway, parks, new retail shops that are popping up, easy access to Crystal Bridges, downtown Bentonville. Of course, another pro is it definitely helps promote an active lifestyle to where you've got quick access to Kohler Mountain Bike Preserve, Slaughter Pen, the Greenway, walking paths, group rides, community events, where everything is happening. If you want to be in the action, then that's the pros. That's where you should live. Another pro is compared to many other regions in Northwest Arkansas, if you're living close to Walmart's campus, you're probably in an area to where you could essentially walk, roll, or stroll to just about everything you need. Grocery stores, doctor's appointments, maybe even school for the kids, walk to dinner or walk to concerts. Another pro of living close to the campus is long-term investment. Historically, there's been strong appreciation down close to that area of town. There's continued investment nearby, and those properties are in high demand. Of course, we got to talk about the other side of the coin, don't we? Anthony, what's the negatives? What are the cons about living close to the Walmart home office campus? Usually you're paying a premium. Question becomes, is that convenience of living that close worth maybe 300, 500, or another comma in your purchase price? Is it worth it to you and your family? Typically in the area that we're talking about, James, if you would pop up a map that shows Walmart's home office campus, draw about a mile to mile and a half radius around it. Now that you can see where we're talking about, usually there's less privacy. You've got closer neighbors in this area and much less land. If you're wanting maybe some elbow room, probably don't live that close. There's certainly going to be traffic in the morning, at lunchtime, at nighttime, and of course there's going to be special events. Walmart shareholders meeting. Sometimes Walmart brings in celebrities to come speak on campus. Not too far from campus is Momentary and Momentary Greens, where they have many concerts. And of course, with so much being added all the time and changing in maintenance, there's certainly going to be construction and growth in the area. So if you're already feeling congested, I would not suggest living that close to campus. Another con to consider is it's definitely going to be a busier lifestyle near campus. Some love that energy, and others eventually realize, I don't really want to be around people that much. And last in this con section is, depending on your budget, there's certainly fewer new construction options. You might find some more condos and townhomes, but single family homes this close to the campus can usually range from $500,000 to $600,000 upwards to $2.5 million. All right, now that we've talked about some of the positives and negatives, let's talk about who should live near the campus. If you can afford it, I would definitely, if you're a Walmart executive, you want to live close to campus, it absolutely makes sense. Time is valuable, and if you're having to go into the office all the time, that makes sense to me. Of course, if you're a vendor that works on the Walmart team and you're going into appointments at the home office campus all the time, it absolutely makes sense. Again, depending on budget, depending on lifestyle, depending on how much time you want to spend behind your windshield or on your bike. It's a very good fit for young professionals that are looking to be around more community, maybe the trails and events and restaurants to where they can hang out and have a bit more of a social lifestyle. How about the active empty nester? Do you love biking, walking, coffee, perhaps concerts? Then this area is fantastic. Let's talk about who might be happier elsewhere. I, for one, do not want to live that close. My family, we like being a little bit further away from where the action is, so that if we want to go into town, it's over there, and we can go over there to it. When we want to be away from people and have a little bit more privacy and some elbow room, we're living a bit farther away from campus ourselves. That being said, if you're a family like us and you want a little bit more house, you might consider a town like Centerton. Centerton is right next to Bentonville. Some of the pros are you're going to find a larger home, better value. There's going to be more neighborhoods. Great for kids. I know for our family personally, when we moved back here, our daughters were younger, and it was nice to have not only school friends, youth group friends, sports friends, but also neighborhood friends. So on the weekends and nights, when we didn't have something going on, but kids wanted somebody to play with, we were in a neighborhood with more kids. The trade-off of living in Centerton is you're definitely going to have a bit longer of a commute. Now, commute times, wherever you're coming from in the country, you might be saying, hey, Anthony, our commute time is 50 minutes to an hour and a half, just one way. From my house to Walmart home office campus, 7:30 in the morning, 15 to 20 minutes. Technically, I'm in Centerton, but I have a Bentonville address. That's a whole other video and something else to consider.
Perhaps next time.
Who else might be happier elsewhere is outdoor enthusiasts. If your weekends revolve around mountain biking, golf, perhaps lakes and nature, I would certainly suggest Bella Vista for you to check out. And is it in close proximity to Walmart home office campus? Not really. Could you live there and ride your bike to work? Yeah, you absolutely could, especially if you're on the east side over by Blowing Springs or Metfield Clubhouse. You could hop on the Razorback Greenway and ride your bike or your scooter, or run or walk, I suppose, if you wanted to walk that far, to get to work each morning at the home office campus. Probably about 20 to 25 minutes, depending on how fast you could ride, to get to work each morning. Again, if riding your bike. Yet, Bella Vista is on the north side of Bentonville and still an easy drive. If you're looking for maybe more of a quiet lifestyle, I would certainly suggest cities like Highfield, Cave Springs, maybe even Northwest Rogers, or even farther rural Benton County out on the other side of Pea Ridge. Now, granted, your commute time's going to be farther if you're coming to work into town. Internet service might be a little spotty here and there. We can definitely work on that together, but it's going to be more peaceful. You're going to be a little bit more spread out, less traffic out there than there is in town, less sirens, less semi-trucks, less concrete trucks, less construction going on, being more rural than it is here in town. If you're a retiree, I would ask yourself, do you want walkability or do you want privacy? If it's privacy, I would certainly suggest maybe looking at West Rogers, again, Bella Vista, even Gravette, which is north and west of Bentonville, might be somewhere you could consider also. Maybe you've retired or maybe you're a remote worker. Don't just think about work when you're considering should you live close to Walmart's home office campus. You have to consider how often do you actually go to work? Where will your kids go to school? Do you want to go to dinner on a Friday night? What do your weekends look like? Do you ride bikes? Do you need access to the airport? Other major things to consider is, do you want to have access to golf? Do you like fishing? Do you need acreage? Do you prefer sidewalks or neighborhoods that don't have sidewalks? Do you like to live out in the country on gravel? Lots of things to consider as you're looking at purchasing your new home. Cities I'd consider, and of course, combined with your budget, let's talk about Bentonville. Bentonville would be great if you're a young professional, you have the budget, you're wanting to be close to downtown and everything that's going on, and maybe even the potential to roll or stroll just about everywhere. Definitely choose Bentonville. If you're looking for maybe a better value with neighborhoods and communities, you might consider Centerton. Looking for airport access, privacy, room to spread out, I'd go West Rogers, Cave Springs, and the west side of Centerton. If lakes, golf, and undulating topography, unlike any other city in northwest Arkansas, Bella Vista would be your jam. All right, last section before we call it a day, some rapid fire questions is, Anthony, is living next to Walmart worth paying for? I'm going to answer a lot of these questions with, it depends. Depends on your budget. Depends on how rollable, strollable. Depends, are you wanting to be close to that nightlife? If you do, yes. If you don't, no. Can you bike to work? If you live in Centerton, Bentonville, maybe parts of Rogers, Bella Vista, yes. Pea Ridge, no. East Rogers, probably not. Cave Springs might be a little tough. It depends on if you live maybe close to the Razorback Greenway. If you do, then yeah, I would say you could bike to work. Is traffic actually that bad? Man, you're going to get me with this one. I don't think traffic in Northwest Arkansas is that bad at all. You can see my diploma back here. I went to college in Southern California. When you're on the 5, the 405, 15, 57, the 210 freeway, even PCH, in 2 to 3 miles, you could be there for 20 to 30 minutes. So no, I don't think traffic is that bad. Is Centerton too far? For some people, yeah, it is. For other people, no, it's really not that far at all. Let's say you're an executive that's coming from one of these cities where you're commuting 50 to 60 minutes or maybe even an hour and a half one way to work. Centerton's going to feel like a hop, skip, and a jump for you. Next question, is Bella Vista realistic for Walmart employees? Yeah, it is. Again, depending on your budget, your dollar's going to stretch further up in Bella Vista. Certain areas of Bella Vista, you can certainly ride your bike or a scooter to work. And it's just a short drive up Business 71 or even Highway 49. Should you rent before you buy? It depends. Let's have a conversation on that one. The next question is, downtown Bentonville worth the premium? If that's your lifestyle, if that's what you're wanting to do, yeah, go for it. I personally do not believe so. Me and my family, no. It's not worth it for us to live downtown because we don't go downtown that often. We actually eat a lot of our meals in. We actually like to have quiet evenings. I office from my house. So no, to me, it's not worth it. But to the right person, yes, absolutely. Being down where the action is, yes, the premium is worth it. Next question, is Rogers a better compromise? You know, it might be, again, depending on your family makeup, depending on your lifestyle, depending on what you want close proximity to. It depends on a lot of these questions. Next question, can you realistically avoid traffic? Okay, let's say that traffic was a thing. Let's talk about Pea Ridge. No, you cannot avoid traffic in the morning time, that morning commute. You're either coming in on Highway 72 or you're coming down south out of Pea Ridge and then coming through on 62 to come into Walmart home office campus. No, you can't avoid that. There's really only 2 main arteries out of Pea Ridge. Centerton, same thing. There's really only 1 or 2 ways in from Centerton, like Highway 72, again, or 102 that's going to take you from Centerton toward the home office campus. Last question I have for us, is Fayetteville or Springdale too far for someone that wants to live near the Walmart home office campus? I would say yes, it is, because there's multiple options for you to be able to rent, for you to be able to buy closer to the Walmart campus in Bentonville, Rogers, Bella Vista, Centerton, Cave Springs, than it would be for you to go all the way down 49 to Springdale or even Fayetteville even farther. One thing I've learned after helping hundreds of people move to Northwest Arkansas is that very few people regret buying the right lifestyle, not the right commute. My friend, it's always a pleasure to put this information together for you, and now you know a little bit more about what life is like in and around Bentonville. Thanks for watching.